Hi, everybody. My name is Evelyn. I am the founder of Hatch and Bloom, and I am a mental health therapist. And I specifically work a lot with the first 5 years. So, parents who have kids, parents that are pregnant, and through kids that have ages 5 or 6 years old. I really focus most of my work on parenting and helping to understand the perspective of the child when we are dealing with behaviors, when we're dealing with understanding why kids will behave in certain ways, also in understanding how to best respond to kids. Really, we need to take into consideration a lot of times what their needs are underneath their behaviors. So today I wanted to quickly talk to you about transitioning back to somewhat of normalcy post this quarantine time. I know that some kids are going to be transitioning into childcare. We may, as things start to opening up, we might have parents that will go back to work. So I wanted to today cover separation anxiety. So we know that, so you parents have been so available to your children like every single day for the last 2 months, in at least physically, emotionally, during the day, at all times. You are really the representation of what safety feels like, what security feels like. This is something that kids will go through actually just developmentally. They'll hit peaks where they realize this, you're completely their safety, and when they're being separated from you, or when even something as simple as having to say goodnight at night is really cause for distress in a child. They might be thinking, hey, my safety, my security is going away. This is making me feel really unsafe, or this is making me feel anxious. This does not mean your child will not be okay, right? Here are some behaviors we kind of see when there's separation anxiety. There might be extra clinginess. There might be some crying. There might be a protest to the separation. You'll see all these kinds of behaviors. Don't leave me. And this is quite adaptive and quite normal because, again, we're supposed to be their security and their safety. But basically, something that is really important to note is that kids, especially until 5 or 6 years old, will understand that they are safe based on how the people around them are responding, especially their parents. This is so important. So basically, when we, the parents, I'm also a parent, when we help our children feel secure in the separation, as in, I'm leaving you in good hands, you are okay, I'm confident that you're going to be really well taken care of, and there will be a reunion. I'm coming back, the adult always comes back, then we can kind of smoothen this transition for the child, right? This anxiety. Many times without noticing, the parent or caregiver actually tends to prolong and exacerbate and escalate this moment of anxiety during the separation, because the parent might feel so distraught by seeing their child struggle, heartbroken, or like scream, or you feel like you're leaving your child where it's not safe. The protective nature of the parent is to rescue in that moment, to soothe and to rescue, which is totally normal. The thing that you want to remember is that they're getting their messages about what is safe from you. So lingering is not a great strategy when you are separating from your child. Lingering actually gives confusing mixed messages. Lingering meaning, you'll be like, okay, one more kiss. Okay, one last hug. Okay, I'm just gonna only wait from the door. Okay, I'm actually not gonna leave. I'm gonna watch you from the window. Okay, I'll come back and I'll sit with you for 10 minutes. This lingering is actually giving out mixed messaging to your child, which is you're telling them with your words, you're safe, you will be well taken care of, and I will come back and get you, but your actions are telling them something different. They're telling them like, I'm not sure I want to leave you here. I'm not sure that you're safe. I'm not sure about the separation. So we always want to address our child with confidence, and our messaging, meaning our actions, needs to align with what we're actually telling them, right? Making a goodbye plan is really, really great idea I heard of from actually a friend of mine told me this. So making a goodbye plan would look like, okay, you guys decide beforehand and you practice at home. You role play this, right? You role play saying goodbye, and a goodbye plan could be like you guys decide, okay, we're going to do, 3 kisses, 2 hugs, 1 high five on each hand, something like that, right? You could do something like that, but then you stick to it, right? Then the things you want to tell your child are where they will be going, what they will be doing, where they are, and when your reunion is. So I will be back after your lunch. I will be back after, your nap time. You might want to ask the staff or whoever's staying with them, caregiver, what the plan is right before around that time you're meaning to pick up, so that they can understand based on time, based on what they're doing, and it's relatable to them, rather than telling them I'll be back at 4:00. That doesn't make much sense to a little child, right? You always talk about the reunion. You can talk about what you will do when you see your child. When I see you, when I come back and I give you this giant hug and we get in the car and then we can play your favorite song, or we're going to go, to make dinner. You want to kind of give this visual for what the reunion will look like too. Okay. Their feelings in the moment of separation, the fears or the anxiousness, is totally real and valid. And so one way you would handle that is give a quick little acknowledgement, right? So like, it is hard to say goodbye. I know I will think of you and I will miss you too. And then you kind of end off with the like, you're safe here. You're really well taken care of. Mommy or daddy will be back right after blah, blah, blah. And this is what we'll do. I love you so much. And then goodbye, your goodbye plan or your quick goodbye. And that's it. So no lingering, right? The other thing, and actually like most places will give you a phone call if your child doesn't calm down. Most of them will calm down once you actually leave. Now, the other things that you could do to kind of make it more easy for them is thinking about maybe sending something called a transitional object. So some sort of security object that the child may have, whether this be a blanket, whether this be a pacifier, whether this be a special stuffed animal, anything that kind of reminds them of home, of safety, of security, of soothing, they can totally bring along with them. Or if you are leaving to work, you would kind of make sure they stay with this object. This is really helpful too, for just in sense of they're not feeling like they're completely detaching from their place of comfort. Okay, so these are really the basics around separation anxiety. Remember, it's adaptive. Remember, they're supposed to be feeling this way. It makes sense, right? It is scary. Change is scary, and you are their home base. And when you're not really going to be their home base all day, especially that they've experienced this for 2 months now, their reactions will differ. Be patient with your child. The other thing I will say is be consistent. Your goodbyes should look pretty much the same all across the board. So this is something you might actually want to practice even if you're going out to the grocery store. The same type of goodbye. The same type of goodbye, you leaving the house, you might need to get in the shower, and if you have a child that won't even let you go from room to room, same type of talk, same type of acknowledgement. This is still where I'm going. Right after I shower, this is what we can do. So those boundaries and that kind of plan looks really consistent throughout. Then when you actually are leaving them somewhere else, or where you're actually going out to work for all day, then it won't feel like this new unexpected experience for them. They will have almost mastered it. Things that you can play at home depending on ages, if they're young, games like hide and seek, games like peekaboo, where things are out of sight, but then always kind of you can find them, they're still there, they still exist. This helps children master these concepts as well. Okay, so these were just little tips on separation anxiety. I hope it's helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out. We're always here to help. Thank you so much, and see you soon.